Audio check, audio check. Audio check, 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 1, 2. Good morning, everybody. It's not February, it's not January, it's not 2000 and what was I can't remember Bitcoin's launch date. January 3rd, 2009. It's not that date. But it's another day that will live in infamy as we bounce off the all-time high. Anyway, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting once again that's right, another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It's just me with you here today. Pedro Garcia is off today, so we're not going to be analyzing tons of charts in minute detail. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Why? Because that's all anyone's talking about. That's all anyone is talking about. But rightly so. Because why? Because we just bounced off a new all-time high last night. Now, there's a bunch of people reporting that BTC has blasted through, soared way above. CoinDesk is out there saying, soaring above to create a new all-time high. It wicked, on some exchanges, it wicked to 69,000 for a millisecond. And then it triggered a bunch of sells and boom, and it went down. And a bunch of other exchanges that didn't. So in my mind, we didn't really hear hit an all-time high. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the show off right by saying, taking over what Pedro would say. And Pedro would say, hey, everybody, good morning. Let us know where you're coming from. Give us some feedback. I'm back in the Chicago studio today, so I had to reset up everything here. So let us know if the audio is any good or not, if it's crap. Tom, we can't hear you. That type of stuff. Looks like the audio is kind of crap here. I think I'm getting the mono. One side only of the audio. Stand by with me while I fix that, ladies and germs. Let's see. That should fix that. That fixed that. Paul Bergman says, coming to you from Minnesota. Paul Bergman, thanks for joining the show. You seem to be new, or at least I don't recognize your name, or you're using a different YouTube account. Let us know how you found us. Really appreciate that. Anton Golub coming to us from Switzerland or Dubai. Don't know where you are today, Anton, but got to have you on the show to talk about it. And in fact, I don't have Pedro here, so if you want to come on the second half of the show to chat about Bitcoin and what's going on in the mighty continent of Europe. Continent of Europe, let me know. Let's see. Paul's been here before, part of the Operation Phoenix Army. All right, let's see. Derek Freeland, let's see. Let's make sure we can I have to reset up all my stuff here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got Ka-ching in the house. Anton's in between. So you're on an Etihad flight getting ready to land in Zurich, or a Swiss Air flight from Abu Dhabi to, or you're in Greece again. That's where you are. That's who you are. Ka-ching lets us know. Finally doxes himself where he's coming from. Minnesota. Oh yeah, hey there, from Minnesota. You got usually Crypto Mike. Oh, there's Crypto Mike. Crypto Mike in the house. Oh, Canada. And Crypto Mike is just north in the peg. Just north of you Minnesotans, eh? Anton says he's from Cyprus. Well, drop some alpha, Anton, if you got anything to put on and talk about. But I'm glad you're in Cyprus, and hopefully you're there for work. Not play. No play anymore. It's work time. It is work time. Anton says always Emirates. Oh, it looks like we got a good crowd. Pitmonk's in the house. Pitmonk, thanks for joining us today. Pitmonk from the Mainnet Z group. Mainnet Z, if you don't know anything about it, in December launched their level 1 blockchain. In February, launched their DEX. And getting ready to do a whole bunch of good things. What else we got here? Matt Rhodes, Mr. Rhodes here, repping the Stag Farm. These Stag guys won't give it up, will you? Very small. If you don't know anything about Stag, very small project, doing good things. If you want to reach out to Matt Rhodes here, he'll get you to the right area. I'm sure we'll talk about their chart later in the show. Although Pedro's not here, so I'll be looking at it going, it's going up and it's going down and it's going up and it's going down. Then it went sideways for a while, then it went down and then it went up. Kind of like Chuck's Cardano. Betty Baskins, welcome to the house. Thank you for joining us. I won't dox you this time, but thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Anton says, Lisa Mole, very nice. Thordos, I don't know how to pronounce it, for skiing. Skiing. Oh yeah, northern Greece. Of course there's skiing there. Of course, but you actually know that area quite well, Anton, because that's the part of the world you're from, little further north there. Paul Bergman says, Antover, Minnesota. We got the whole crew here today. Crypto Mike says, Paphos. I don't even know what that means. Little town out there. Pedro is coming back. Pedro is busy during the day for last week and this week because of real world non-crypto stuff. And we've been trying to have some night shows, but the night isn't working for me. So we're having a bunch of day shows for right now. But Pedro will be on tomorrow. He'll be on tomorrow. And then Thursday, I'm going to have a guest. I think to talk about I know this may not be a big interest to you guys, but a guest, an Indian streamer about the country of India, to talk about what's going on over there. And I know people are like, well, India, blah, blah, blah. But they've been tightening the rules over there on exchanges and stuff. But once the rules get set and they allow people to get back into the retail aspect of investing, you're going to have a couple more 100 million people with some liquid cash ready to invest. So it's good. Let's see. Tom is going to hound. Yes, Crypto Mike. Mrs. Striking did have an event yesterday with the premier of Manitoba. It was a huge success. And a very nice guy. Apparently, Mrs. Striking said it was I wasn't there at the event. Mrs. Striking said it was the best speech that she has heard, genuine, from a politician at one of those events that she does. And that's correct. Facebook and IG were down. Does anyone care if Facebook and IG is down? I mean, we're broadcasting on Facebook, but nobody cares. See that their social media, YouTube is not functioning in areas of the world. Do you have any info? No, I don't have any info on it. Not at all. It's working here fine. And we've got users from all over the world here listening. So I guess it must be working. Although I must say, YouTube has been having some trouble outside of the internet lately. They've been having some, on the YouTube creators end of it, they mentioned that they're updating their systems. They have a new way of going live too from your phone, and apparently the integration of the two did not go so well. Like anything with software, it's like, wow, we got 99% of it. What's that last 1%? Oh, that's the turn on button. Everything but X and Telegram are down. Well, we're all here, ladies and gentlemen. We are all here today talking about Bitcoin. Now, let's do a poll. Let's see if I can actually do the poll. Let's see if I can create a poll here. Where is that? Let's see if I can do this properly. Poll. Start Q&A. Start a poll. I've never done this before. Did BBC actually hit a new all-time high? Yes, no, add option, sort of. All right, in the comments section, it's first time doing this. I got to engage you guys. First time doing this, but did Bitcoin actually hit a new all-time high? There's yes, no, and sort of. So go in the comments and choose that. And I know technically, you know, you can say a couple of exchanges hit 69,000. But answer it in a way which you think does it count? Did it count? I mean, I know technically it went in some exchanges, but one exchange could have just bought, you know, $1 million worth of Bitcoin and then dumped it right away, because then they could say we were first to hit the new all-time high, so you got to come hit our exchange first. Could be marketing stuff. So give us a thing. Give us a feeling what you're talking about. Will he says, will the new all-time high have inflation included? Yes, well, according to the United States, yesterday was, let's see, 136 by 6, about 1/70th of a percent of inflation yesterday. I guess that's a good thing. So devalue it by 1/70th to the U.S. dollar. 82,000. You must have a, that must be Canadian currency if you're talking about 82,000. Check says, we just tapped it. Just tap it in, ladies and gentlemen. Just tap it in. I think I got,
the price is wrong, bitch.
If you know, that's the same movie. That's the same movie. Anyway, let's look at the poll here. Mike says it was like 69, 1110. Yeah, the exchange I was watching it didn't do that. I had two up. I had, of course, they may have gone back and fixed their numbers. But I had the thing up behind me here, CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap, it never hit it. It got real close, real close. I'm crushing your head. I'm crushing your head. If you know what that's from, and you're a Canadian too. Yeah, crypto. I was watching it too, and I never saw it get above it on CoinMarketCap. Anyway, let's look at the poll. The poll says, did it hit an all-time high? 25% of you said yes, 12% no, 62% sort of. That's exactly what I thought too. I was like, meh. It was a big fat meh. But it was fun. I gotta tell you, it was fun watching. How many of you get? Okay, let's do it. Let's. I love this. See, you teach someone a new trick. Let's see. Where are you watching? Back to a different keyboard today. I cannot type as fast. Let's see. Were you watching the BT? I'm not on mute. BTC drama yesterday. Let's see. I got an option. Odd an option. Yes. No. Who gives a fuck? We are going to 100K. Oh, see, I'm already learning new rules about the polls. Who cares? 100K next. All right, got a new poll up there. This is a good one. This is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Were you watching the BTC drama yesterday? If so, if you're in the U.S. time zone, North American time zone, were you drinking while it was happening? Yes? No? Who cares? Because we're going to 100K. Betty Baskins says, tap that. Pitmonk says, let's see, I can move this window to read it. With the next bull cycle about to start and new projects springing up all over the place, what is your process to choose the good from the bad in those early stages? You know what, Pit? I have so much PTSD from the last bull run, in which me, like many other people, were slow to realize that it was on. And because we were the generation of crypto people that came in 20 and 21. You know, it's like saying back during the war, you know, it's our generation. We were slow to recognize the bull run was happening. And by the time we did get in it, projects were already starting to dump. It wasn't like, oh, a bunch of us got in and we're the exit liquidity. It's just that DeFi was at that point where enough people had come in so everything wasn't turned into gold. And projects without utility were starting to crash, or rug or whatever. And so there was a lot of skepticism. So even when the whole market was saying, it's bull run time, and it's still good, there was a bunch of us out there, me included, that was like, you know what, I don't have a lot of money to risk in the market. And so I was never able to really take advantage of it. So that's kind of the deal with that. On this cycle, with the bull run, will new projects spring up all over the place? What is your process to choose the good from the bad? My process this time is a blue chip strategy. Really, it's just, what I'm doing is if you've been following the show for a while, I talk about the 4 stages of the crypto alt season. 1, Bitcoin booms, then booms and swoons. Booms and then kind of starts consolidating, which drives an ETH boom. And then that drives the top altcoin boom as the money starts flowing down the chart. And then the 4th step is all the altcoins boom. And so I'm sticking to the blue chips of, the old thing, 80% portfolio, blue chips. I don't mean stocks. Well, I'm going to invest in 4 to get that 10% return, maybe. I'm doing the blue chips and then 20% play money. You know, there's still Pepe out there, guys. Come on, So, a Space Cat in the house. Space Cat, welcome, a Space Cat.
Space, the final frontier.
Final frontier. Space Cat, I learned a new trick today. An old dog has been taught a new trick. Let's see, I was going to open up the Banter Bubbles site, but I got to make sure my CPU isn't at max yet. This computer that I'm on always gives me a little trouble. No, it should be okay. All right, let's go to the... I'm going to go to Pedro's screen here, but no Pedro! All right, let's see. Pitmonk, I hope that makes sense what I was talking about. Because I don't know. I want to be able to make sure I take advantage of the bull run this time and make sure I'm in the green and profits. And I can't do that the way I did it last time. The way I did it last time was throwing money at every little thing, and it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. All right, what do we got here today? Let's see if this is showing up on my screen properly. No, we got Pedro there still. No Pedro. Don't know why Pedro's still there. No, not that one. Guest. There we go. All right, so what do we got today? Theta pumping again. We've been following Theta on this show now for, I don't know, 3 months. Still rocking. Bonk. You knew Bonk and Pepe and Floki and dogs with hats. We're all going to come down. Everyone knew that, right? Hope you weren't the exit liquidity on that. Gala's down. Everyone's been talking about Gala being down. Let's see where the other one. Sui over there. Sui, the people have been talking about having a tough time. But has everyone been paying over here Bitcoin Cash here? Bitcoin Cash. Let me make myself bigger here today. El Pedro no hero. I have the phone in the way here. Bitcoin Cash. Yesterday was up 40%. Bitcoin Cash's halving's coming up. All of a sudden, people are talking about that again. It got boiler room pumped yesterday, and it was up 40%. Just lovely types of things. Pitmonk says Gala will spring back in the bull. Gala is you know what? I'm getting Gala confused with Mana. That's different. Betty Baskins, Ondo. Oh yeah, where's Ondo on this? I don't see it in the green ones here. But I do love Ondo. Ooh, is it behind my head here? Nope. Well, let's go find Ondo here. Ondo. You know, I don't know if any of you guys have watched Crypto Banter. Drano in the house. What's up, Drano? Got to get the right sound for you. Oh, I didn't add it back. I thought I had it. Thought I had that one handy. I did have it yesterday. Oh, I can't find my LeBron James. I can't even do that right. Anyway, welcome, Drano. Thank you very much for joining us, Drano. Let me get this thing out of the way here. Charles Cat with hat. I mean, who was the genius that dreamed up that? That guy made millions and millions of dollars. Cat with hat. All right, let's find. We got Ondo here. Ondo pumped today and then pulled back. I don't know how, Betty, if you know how Ondo works. I don't know. Every time they have a good pump, they have a sell-off. And then they have more money come at big pumps. Is there something with the project that is investing money back in, so they have like a buy and burn or something like that, so that when they have a big thing, people know it's coming and then they just sell it off to take the liquidity? Making room for more of you. Pitmonk, you know what? I did go back and get that one correct. Pitmonk, welcome to the house.
God save our gracious King.
For Ondo, massive industrial investment. No, I get the long-term thing of it, but the short-term, it just every time they have a big candle, immediately sells off. Just boom. Boom, off. Yeah, there you go, Pitmonk. God save the king. I remember over here, as you well know. Hey, you know what? I am in Chicago today. I am not in Canada, so I can't say over here. But I was in Canada the past 2 months, and so I got Canadian-sized in the way I talk where I am. But I'm in Chicago right now. And so, but I'll go back and say, in Canada, they have the Privy Council and all that type of stuff, and a bunch of those funny made-up names you guys have in the UK, like, oh, I'm the exchequer of the Flibbercross and the Battle of the Hafenfasser, Knights of the Round Table type stuff. And right after the Queen died, I was at an event with Mrs. Striking, and they had a guest whose bio included being appointed to the Queen's Privy Council. And the people at the show had already changed it to the King's Privy Council. And I think it had only been like a day after her funeral or something like that. But it was weird to see that after spending so many years with the Queen. That he says taking profits. Yeah, I know that, taking profits. But why aren't they letting it go up? I'm a Queen Scout. Not anymore, you're not. Although I don't know how that works. All right, back to let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Max says that was a sad day. Her entire life we had a queen. Mine too. I mean, she had only been in the Queen, I think 15 years when I was born. All right, we have Bitcoin back here. Nice sell-off since yesterday. It was, you know what? I thought once it did tip that once it got it right here, 69,000. I really thought that it was gonna go. I really did. I thought we were gonna have a push up to 80,000. Pedro and I have been looking at the charts here, and although I haven't looked at the charts in the past 5 days with this, I didn't see where any more resistance came in or a bunch of liquidity came in down here that the market makers wanted to come grab. So I hadn't been watching that, but before we said, that's going to come up into the 60s, and we don't see much stopping it going higher. We thought it would do the, I don't know if you can see this. My whiteboard's not working. All right. Gotta work on that. Anyway, it would go up and then slowly come back down a little bit and then just start rocketing up again. But Chuck says, yeah, there's mental health resistance at the all-time high. Well, as I say, Drano, I am not the chart specialist, but I'll look at it. Assessment zone instructions. All right, let me find NetZ here, I think. Let's see, NetZ. I can already tell you that if Pedro is here with NetZ, he would be saying that it's good to see that the volume is still going here. He would first look at this and just look at the volume here. And see that it's not declining volume, it's not increasing volume, there's steady volume, which is good. I'm guessing you guys have one of your exchanges. You have a market maker, then there's an ARB bot or group syncing them all, stuff like that. So there may be a lot of inside volume, as they call it. But frankly, volume is volume because the investor wants to see that it's actively traded. Exchanges want to see that there's fees being made. And they know if there's volume from the market makers, that will entice people to buy it because they know they can get a decent price. They won't get that the slippage won't be huge, that type of stuff. But also, Pedro and I have been talking about NetZ in the fact that we know there's not going to be a lot of price action until projects start launching on the chain. And so, once those contracts start getting put out there, once people start having to buy the NetZ token to use for liquidity, once people start bridging over, I don't know how do people get money onto NetZ other than I know you guys just launched your DEX, so I'm guessing is there a bridge there? To be honest, I haven't paid a lot of attention to it since then. Pitmonk says NetZ is still dragging sideways, but waiting for projects to launch. Sadly, yeah, it may have been smart to launch the chain when the projects were ready, like Starknet did, and they turned their little investment into $5 billion. But Pitmonk says I'd expect this move in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I gotta tell you what, I watched a video on how to launch a contract on mainNetZ. And if your developers don't do it, I'm gonna launch a meme coin on mainNetZ once I learn the bridge routine here, and I'm gonna get all you guys to FOMO into it. And when Pedro says we can't do that, I'll be saying, yeah, it's at $10 billion market cap with Floki and Shib. We're not gonna worry about that. Tom with hat. Yes, Chuck. Tom with hat. I'll just put a crazy hat on. Anton's still listening to us. Tom with hat on NetZ. All right, it's coming. And I expect everyone to FOMO the shit out of it. Because then it'll generate some revenue for the old DYOR Media Network, and I can buy that computer to run Unreal. And hire that staff of 30 people that are all clicking in the background and running around with sheets of paper and taking calls. That's what we're looking for. Anton, you're listening in the background. I know you've been talking a lot about Bitcoin lately, especially on your show with Frank and all that. From a market maker's perspective and an exchange owner's perspective, in the past, what I have this question: the ETF guys have bought up billions of dollars. I had the number up just a little bit ago, but it's an amazing amount. It's like 200,000 Bitcoin they've bought up, which they've bought from the general supply, and a lot of it they bought from Grayscale. I get that, and a lot of it they've bought OTC from wherever they could. But it's pulling it mostly out of the Binance supply, which is a lot. Robinhood supply, that's a lot. And it's drawing down the amount of Bitcoin the exchanges can use. And we all know the miners are only putting 900 new Bitcoins a day. That's it. And the current demand is like 2,000 to 3,000 per day. When those exchanges get thin on Bitcoin, what happens? And everyone talks about supply shock, but there's 100 million sats in every Bitcoin, so let's not talk about supply shock. But what do the exchanges do when the ETFs are buying Bitcoin, and then the ETFs the exchanges need it to trade? Do they call on their big whales and say, hey, could you provide some liquidity to us? Could you provide some Bitcoin to trade? How does that work? Anton, if you're listening, let us know how that works. Let's see. Pitt says the most sophisticated meme coin, Brainsy. Let's see. Betty says pre-sale whitelist team tokens. There's going to be team tokens. There's going to be hidden team tokens. There's going to be hidden team tokens. That there's going to be levels of teams. It's going to be the least transparent thing ever. It's going to be a good old fashioned Tamatotori. Satoshi Tamatoshi. On that thing, it's simple. Yeah, you can call your big traders and ask for BTC. Either you buy it from them or loan it, or go to other liquidity providers. Yeah, kind of a pain in the ass there. It's a myth that somehow the ecosystem will run out of BTC. That's correct. And I always tell people, when people say there's only 21 million, no, there's not. There's 2.1 quadrillion tradable units. Just think about that. That means if one person owns 20 million of them, there's still 1 million times 100 million tradable units, which is a lot more tradable units than there are now. So there's always going to be someone that wants to sell at whatever price. And frankly, if one of those big traders or liquidity providers, everyone knows the Bitcoin price is going to go to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 someday in the future, whether because of demand or because of inflation of the U.S. dollar. So they can sell. They'll sell it to you now at a premium. They'll like, yeah, it's trading at 72,000 or 68,000. Oh, what's it trading at? 65,000. I still have NetZ up here. But they'll sell it to you. They'll say you can take this whole bunch off our hands for 70,000, and then they know they'll use that money just to start slowly buying it back where they can get their position back. There's always everything. It's like that in every market. Cocaine. Don't know what you're talking about. Betty says, let's go. Yeah, we're talking. See, I got two conversations going on here. We got the serious Bitcoin talk about supply, and we got the Tom Bonk Z Inu with hats meme coin going on. The least transparent meme coin ever. Tom, did you just dump 10 million tokens on the market? I don't know what you're talking about. This is not financial advice. Oh, I don't have that running. Where is the not financial advice? Meh, it's not even there. It says it's here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what you're listening to is obviously not financial advice. A long time ago, I was in the Wall Street markets and did all that kind of licensing stuff, but not for 30 years. 30 years. It's been 30 years. NetZ, $10,000 in the year 2030. That would be quite the turnaround there. I mean, NetZ is trading at 10 cents. that would be something. Anyway, Betty, yes, I can't help myself. All right, let's go. We've been talking about Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about. Pitmonk says we all know it's not financial advice. We're all here having a chat and drinking coffee. I know that, but I like to say it so the YouTube algorithm knows it, because that thing listens. And that means that someday somebody can query the transcript for people that don't say that. You never know. That's why you always hear Pedro say Mr. Beast and Shibarium, all these other keywords that we like to talk about. Drano says we got X Factor 40% gas kickback. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the main NetZ project, the gas that the users pay, 40% of it gets kicked back to the developers. So they can be incentivized to make projects that don't have a lot of tax because you're paying it on the front end. Anton says, bravo, Tom, you know market makers better than me. Let's launch Crypto Market Maker. Let's do it. I gotta make sure you guys can see this. Let's see, close up. I have with me right here, I have one Ethereum coin. You can see that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I've got one whole Ripple or XRP coin. Yeah. I've got I don't even know what the hell this thing is. Some peer-to-peer digital yada 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 something coin. Here it is. Here's my pride and joy. I own one Bitcoin. I don't know if you can see that. It's getting greened out. There we go. One Bitcoin. My son got it for Christmas stocking stuffer. Ordered it from some website. And I got a Doge. Look at this. I got the little doggy here. That's right. Or I guess you can call that the SHIB. No, this one's the Dogecoin. I still like to call it Dogecoin because I used to play dodgeball in elementary school. Anton says that's enough liquidity. We'll crush it. Well, Anton, all we got to do is double our investment every day, right? That's all we got to do. In 32 days, we'll be bazillionaires. Glad I can keep you so entertained. Anyway, let's hit the news section here. Because there was one thing I did want to go over. You know, we're going to be on long here. It depends how you guys want to chat. Make sure if you want to bring up any topics, you know, kind of around what we're talking about, just let me know. But where is... oh, yeah, here's CoinDesk talking about it. Blasting above, soaring above the all-time high. It wicked above it. Kind of... here's what might happen next. Let's see. Then they say first it soars and then it tumbles down 6%. You know, a news organization's in trouble, like CoinDesk, because they were recently bought and sold for, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars. Something I'd love to have that trouble with the DYOR Media Network. I'd love to have CoinDesk's trouble when they start making headlines that are just basically crap. Let's see. How AI crypto will lead to a hyper-financialized future. Yeah, if you didn't see my show with Zach Humphreys last week, when we talked about the confluence of, one of the topics we talked about is confluence of AI and crypto, and how it will revolutionize things in owning real estate. And I know, Anton, you can go on about real world assets and how institutions are not wanting to do that right now, because if the amount of U.S. Treasuries being collateralized is dropping, why even bother with real estate? But let's think about in the future. Think about when there's millions of properties of that their ownership is on the blockchain. How fast buys and sells can happen to those, and how quickly large groups like BlackRock can vacuum all those up, and we'll end up with 6 landlords for the whole world. And that's the next one. The next story right above it, literally right here. AI plus crypto equals trouble. A bunch of shows, but that was a good show with Zach Humphreys filling in for Pedro. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch that. It's really a good one. Zach has a lot of alpha to talk about, but he also draws good conversations out with me, kind of like Pedro does. But it must not have been this site. It must have been the Bitcoin site. Oh yeah, stablecoin Tether hits 100 billion market cap. And so where now, since I'm in America, I'm going to talk about America again. Where is stablecoin Tether getting their stableness from? U.S. Treasuries, that's where. And so they just bought another $20 billion worth of treasuries. Uh-oh, Chicago, carjacking. Hey, live right on one of the main streets here. The police go by all the time. Oh, more of them. I'm going to go on mute a sec while the ambulance goes by. Ladies and gentlemen, someone just got shot. You got the cops and the ambulance all going at the same time. People in Chicago don't drive fast enough to get the... You can't drive fast enough to have a car accident, but you need an ambulance. But anyway, Tether hits $100 billion in market cap. Where are they getting that money from? From you and I buying Tether. What are they doing with it to earn money from it? They're buying U.S. Treasuries. And if Pedro here, he'd be going over that market right now. The U.S. Treasury prices have been going up. I'm sorry, the rates have been going up, prices have been going down for treasuries, which is a sign that the Fed has not really been truthful with us when they're saying inflation's going to be fine. And it's a sign that inflation's still going to kind of keep going. Down here, this article, oh yeah, I don't know if you guys watch my show. Matt, thank you for joining us. He's got to go mine some fiat. I'm glad that conversation, that's going to be, I keep saying when we get the t-shirt shop up, we're going to have a couple good slogans. That's going to be one of them. Time to mine some fiat. Chuck, and I'm Chuck, thank you for that. Yanni, thanks for joining us. It's been a while. Thanks for coming back and watching to us from. Yanni, I forget where you're watching us from. I forget where that is. Pit Monk, the press are so dramatic and misleading. I need to do some more clickbaiting. Anton, only double. Come on, it's a bull market. We go strong now. We go strong like bull. All right, triple our money every day. So in 13 days, then we're millionaires. All right, let's finish up some of these comments here while we're at it. Imagine if Shib and Pepe bonk bridge over to NetZ. Can you imagine how many transactions they can make from 40% gas rebate? You know what? That's a good point, Drano. I hadn't thought of it. Imagine. I need to have somebody explain that more to me so I can talk about it. Yanni's London, Ontario. That's right. Just flew over London. Mrs. Striking and I flew from Toronto to Chicago yesterday. And at one point we looked down and saw a bunch of houses. I said, I think that's London. 2 seconds later, it was Windsor. Let's see. Pitmonk says, I bought my friend a BTC coin like that when he got his full 1 BTC. He loves it. How many of us are wishing we bought BTC 1 year ago today, or a little bit more, right after the Sam Bankman-Fried news broke and it hit 16,000? Yeah, we'd be 7-8x right now. Yeah, Yanni, we were on Porter, so we weren't that high up. You know, Porter, for those of you who don't know, Porter's a Canadian airline based out of Toronto that mostly flies the Dash 8, the de Havilland 408. Excuse me, it's 2 propellers. Great planes, though. I love it. When you land at Billy Bishop Airport in Toronto and there's a wind or it's snowing, you really do think you're going to die. You do. Anyway, what we're talking about here, let's see if I got the right screen on. Yeah, it's good enough. Founders of $400 million cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme arrested in Argentina. This one I actually had in my, call it my book of rugs here, the Rug Warehouse, to talk about on season 4 of Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked, which I keep saying is coming out. But I've been too busy with our show and really trying to get the word out. Our show, as you know, our show's DYOR Live, starting to grow. It takes a lot of effort to do this every day, and especially when you have other commitments in your life, like perhaps a marriage. But anyway, this is a good one for it. Founders of $400 million cryptocurrency scheme arrested in Argentina. Perpetuated a Ponzi scheme that moved over $400 million of cryptocurrency in Brazil. It was from Brazil. The federal police of Argentina reported him 200, a woman and man, founders of Ponzi scheme, moved $400 million, blah, 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 blah. Man known as yada, 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 identified local press, a really long South American name. Founders of Bryce Company, a company aiming to build financial freedom for thousands of people through information. Let's see. Oh, he even had a red notice on Interpol. Got to tell you, if you've got $400 million, you can live quite well in Brazil and Argentina. You just got to not go across the border or speed or jaywalk or do anything else like that. This article didn't say much, but there was a typical Ponzi scheme. Unfortunately, this Ponzi scheme was one of those that broke out past the crypto newbies and got into like parents and retirement funds, and and families lost a lot of money. And as you know, those families in Brazil and Argentina for a long time have been losing 100% of their money to inflation. So it's been very difficult for the middle class to stay ahead down there. And then they get wrecked like that. It's just awful. Awful, awful, awful. But this one's going to be reserved for a future episode of that. Centix Media, here's another good article. Wave goodbye to hype and FOMO. First AI media assistant. Well, this is interesting. Centix is the AI-powered assistant that analyzes all types of crypto media channels, news, websites, social media, podcasts. It finds data-driven insights for traders. Read on this, how to explore Centix must-have for crypto traders in 2024. We're going to put this one on the list to remember here. 2 reasons. 1, it might help me a little bit here for the show, but 2, maybe I can draw more eyes to the show. Anyway, let's check on the socials here. For all of you joining us from the Mainnet Z crowd, thank you very much for joining us. Operation Phoenix people, I got to tell you, you guys rocked it. There's something going on. And as I like to say, in both Mainnet Z and Operation Phoenix, I have been an investor. Are an investor, is an investor, whatever. I'm not a whale by any means in either one of them, but I like to say that. But Operation Phoenix boomed, went up all the way to 10 cents. Was that what it was, 10 cents? And then the inside whales that were in on the private sales and stuff just started dumping, and unfortunately drove the price down. And then the price rebounded a little bit, and it came back due to, let's just bring their chart up. It came back due to a couple of people investing some serious money. But then, unfortunately, it... let's see, where should I find these guys? Let's just go to Dex Tools. TikTok, that was a TikTok clone rug that I just had up there. OPHX. Come on, Dex Tools. Oh, don't do this to me. Let's do the 4-hour chart here. Very nice looking chart here. Let's go back to the... let's go to Pedro's view. As you can see, the launch, great launch. This is what you want to see in a launch of a project. For those of you who are new and haven't been following this, when you see a project launch, this is what you want to see happen. Starts way down low and trades, and there's no big sell-off right after it. And this is the 4-hour chart, so there's a couple, this is 2 or 3 days there. I can't get over there. Oh, wait, yes, I can. Make that easy. You can see right here the launch, and then there was a sell-off that was predicted because people had, $10, $20, $30,000 in their wallets from $200. Sell-off, and then people said, "Hey, it's a good project. Bringing in new holders." Booms up to just about, I think the high was 11 cents, and then people's really fat bags started hanging on them, and we all like to have people sell responsibly, and a bunch of people didn't. The price tanked. And then as we get closer, there's a staking period, a 30-day staking period, in which an amazing thing happened that there's like more than 50% of the people had put their money in the staking pool. And then, but as that started to get closer, this is like, how many of you know anything about options? Options have options devalue with time. And as they get closer to their expiration, they devalue a little bit every day. Boop, 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 it goes down, and when they expire, they're at zero. And as we got closer to the expiration date, which was here, that's it, here, of the staking pool, people actually it was right about here. People expected 50% of the tokens to come out with people within serious profits to sell. Which is normally the case. And so a lot of people sold off here, or at least reduced their position. And then the staking people started coming out. And let's say that there were 50%, so 50 million tokens staked. Only a small percentage of them sold. A couple of whales that just wanted to be out got out and dropped the price a little bit. Dropped all the way down into the threes again, which I might add Pedro said was going to happen. Pedro said it was going to happen here, and then when it started coming down to here, he said, "Well, that's probably going to come back into the threes again," and it touched into the threes again too. And then the sell pressure died, kind of like when Grayscale stopped dumping the BTC. This stopped selling off too, and then all of a sudden, some people started buying in. And one guy bought one wallet bought 172 BTC. I mean, and then promptly staked a whole bunch of it too. And I was worried about it too, like everybody. They're like, "Oh, what's going to happen after the 30-day staking pool?" Well, Operation Phoenix, they all got together and they came up with a I don't know if a 2 or 10 prong strategy. And if you read the Reddit posts that Daddy B or whatever his name is, I can't remember your crypto name. Post, you'll get the full story about it too. But they got DeFi Mark, which used to be SafeMoon Mark, and then Surge Mark, and all this type of stuff involved. And he's helping them develop an even better DEX and all these new products that were great. They did an AMA about it, in which aren't just the same things that other projects like, well, we're going to have a bridge and we're going to, be able to move Ethereum over to Avalanche, blah blah blah. You're gonna be able to buy Operation Phoenix from any chain without using a bridge. It's gonna and without launching a new contract in each one. To find out, you'll have to go listen to their AMA. Anyway, they came out with all this great news. That was just great FOMO news. To have DeFi Mark involved, everyone knows he's got a big following. When he puts his mouth and products behind projects, they do well. And then two, they instituted a 60-day staking. I'm sorry. Erase that, great internet. 6-month staking pool. And they're currently using the some of the marketing money and other money that's generated from their DEX to fund that by buying the tokens for it. They're not just minting more and devaluing their currency like the United States government. They're buying more on the open market in order to fund their staking pool. And it caused a lot of people just to restake. And so because people stop dumping, what happens? Price go up. Right. Price go up. And so it's on a march up again. So the Operation Phoenix guys did a good job there. If you notice, I did that in a way that could be cut out into social media. Wise Poo coming to us from Kick. Thanks for joining us from Kick. I really appreciate it. Is this a live? I am live. Wise Poo, I am definitely live here. Wise Poo, we have a show called DYOR Live here up in the corner. You see the logo, DYOR Live. Every week. We're on 2, 3, 4, 5 times, depending. It's either me by myself, me with a guest, or Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We broadcast it over to Kick to grab the occasional viewer that comes and watches us on Kick. As I say, Kick is full of gaming, hula hoop girls, jacuzzi girls, and feet people, and the occasional crypto person. And usually about once a week we get a good viewer. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. If you want to join the conversation with everyone else, come on over to YouTube and search for DYOR Media, and you'll find us. Pitmonk says, I like Phoenix, been waiting for an entry point. You know what, Chuck, if you want to pipe in about what you think your good entry point is because I wouldn't be able to tell you. Pedro, if Pedro was here, he'd be able to tell you what it is. Wise Monk, DYOR Media for DYOR Live, and you'll get it. But thank you for the Operation Phoenix guys there. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, just having a little conversation with Mrs. Striking. We're doing the co-working space here at the global headquarters of the DYOR Media program, otherwise known as my apartment. The Drano and Tom show, yes. Someone that's good at basketball and someone that's not. I am not. All right, we talked about mainnet. We talked about a couple of things I like to talk about. Mainnet Z, Operation Phoenix, Bitcoin. Betty made us talk about Ondo, which I like. I'm also invested in Ondo. Let's see. Space Cat says, don't wait too long for a good entry point in Operation Phoenix. You may find yourself out. Yeah, it's probably the best advice is just to, if you're buying, if you've got, say, we'll just round it up to $100. If you've got $100, put 10 in it now, and then keep adding 10 as you feel the market out. But stick with us tomorrow. Pedro will go over the chart, do a little chart analysis of it, and show you where the points are. He's been right a lot lately, but I must say he's been right 2 key times with Operation Phoenix. But Operation Phoenix is drawing. They're drawing a lot of people from the SafeMoon community. So that throws technical analysis off as the number of holders increases. If the number of holders increases and decreases, if they gain and attrit at the same rate, technical analysis is more, it's my opinion about it, you can argue this all day, is more accurate because that takes that variable out. But if the holders are increasing, chart go up. Chart go up. Crypto Mike says, tell Miss Striking, what's up, fellow Canadian? She says, she always says, tell everyone hi. Pitmonk says, Pedro's been killing the predictions. He's great at reading the charts. He is, and I'm trying to learn from him because I want to be able to do it more when he's not around. It's impossible. It's impossible. And I started working in the markets for companies called EF Hutton and Prudential and Beige Securities, and they merged. And I worked for Shearson, then they merged with Lehman, Shearson Lehman, then they were Lehman, then Lehman went out of business, blah, blah, blah. Including in the futures markets, the option markets, all this type of stuff. But when I was doing it, we never had good charts. You had paper charts. You didn't have things you could manipulate, draw, and learn from real quick. You had to, I mean, it was only, the easiest thing was Bollinger Bands because you could just lay over one chart or another and go, and then now trying to learn all that stuff that like Crypto Lifer and Pedro and all these guys that have been doing TA for a long time, they can just look at something. Like you walk up to a craps table in Vegas, right? This is my great example. I walk up to a craps table in Vegas. You don't know what's going on. You're like, yay, 7, woo, rolled 7. Then the next time the guy rolls a 7, it's bad. Well, what? Why was it good? Why is it bad? And so, and then there's all kinds of bets out there. You have no idea what's going on. And then you watch it long enough, and one day you get it. Like, that's the regular, that's the come line, this is that, these are the odds, this is that, black, white, blah, 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 blah. And you get it. And that's what this is like, and I'm not there yet with this. just not there yet. Not there. I mean, I can draw all kinds of cool lines, but they'll all look like turkeys or penises after a while. Ahmet, thanks. I really appreciate you joining us. Ahmet, where are you coming to us from? I'm going to guess Turkey. Just going to guess that. Of course, a great show. Thanks for joining us once again, Amit. Pedro says, I thought it would take longer to dip to 3 cents and took my eye off it. Yes. Yes, I'll DCAN from here, that's for sure. Hack, he was Wise Poo over on Kick. Hack, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Hack, where in the world are you coming to us from? How'd you find us? Well, you found us on Kick. I get it. But thanks for joining us. We're live a couple of days a week, generally around this time frame. Although depending, as I say, depending on my schedule and where I am and whether I'm with Mrs. Striking or not, sometimes we have some evening shows in Eastern Time Zone U.S., which Mrs. Striking says, over her dead body. Crypto Mike says, yeah, craps is kind of confusing. But all of a sudden you get it. And then you step away from it for a while, and you come back. Like, I actually learned how to play craps. I was pretty good at it. Pretty lucky at it. But I understood what was going on. I used to play with my mom and my dad. We'd be curled around the table in Vegas. And then I didn't go to Vegas for a long time. I came back, and I was like, let's play some craps. El no worko. Didn't work. That says Operation Phoenix Army. Phoenix Army is strong. Phoenix Army strong. All right, let me get on my list of things that I wanted to talk about today here. We're running out. We're not doing a 2-hour show today because I do that with Pedro because he has a lot to talk about. Craps is the best odds in the house. They're all bad. I mean, technically, roulette if they only have one green, only a 0, not a double 0, that could be the best odds. But nah, it's all gambling. I have my comment machine over. When I'm in Canada, my comment machine's over there, so I have to look this way. But I have a comment machine here. Here I can see it better, and it moves and says a new comment's coming before it prints it. So I see the whole list move, and there's a blank spot, and I sit there and I wait. I see it in anticipation, like, ooh, is it going to be a good one? Mr. B says Coinbase to 0. Yeah, that's a good point. Did their stock suffer from their outages? But if I recall, their outage was just because they're too busy, right? The systems just couldn't handle it. That's a good problem to have. I mean, remember when Robinhood, famous during the GameStop and AMC mess, they got too busy and their system crashed and all bad stuff started happening. Space Guys, when I go on a cruise, I usually pay for my cruise and have money left over from the craps table. Wonderful. I remember one time that and let me guess. There was one time in your life that the run just went on forever, and no matter what the person did, they could not crap out. And it just went, and it was like print money. It was like investing in Safe Moon on day 4. I remember one time it was just like taking $25 and $100 chips out. And this was a 5, I think might have been a $10 table. And it's just pulling them out. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, they had no money on the table anymore when it ended. When they finally ended, they cleaned, thousands and thousands of dollars off. And I was like, I thought I earned more money on that. And then I realized I had my, on the side I was sitting on a stool, and I just kept putting $25 and $100 chips in my pocket. And there was about $800 in there. And I was the happiest guy. Because I had started with $100 to play a $5 or $10 table. And that's when you know to get in big. Hackers have got to be fishing in the Coinbase honeypot right now. No, you know what? I haven't been paying attention to Coinbase today. If it's gotten worse, that's too bad. That's too bad. Here, let's bring up. Go back to the news. Coinbase announcement. Let's go to Twitter. Let's go to X. I haven't been paying attention to Twitter during this. Just a quick note on the DYOR front. You guys have heard me talk about. I had the devs and owners of 2 new projects coming out that were both pretty cool. One was called DYOR Exchange. It's an exchange coming to your phone in which you're going to have social aspects to it, swiping to trade a basket, all sorts of really cool things to make the interaction with trading a bunch of things easier, to have users give some feedback. People can put together lists of things, like I like these 5, and you can just swipe and buy all of them. And it's pretty cool stuff. Marcus and Alex, I had those guys on. And then I had Hank and I'm sorry, Brian. I can't think. Sorry, Ben. Hank and Ben from DYOR Dex on. And unfortunately they use the same names, slightly different thing. DYOR Dex is going to be taking on Dex tools to help out users and developers make a better product. And they're using kind of some similar marketing terms. They're doing different things. Both good groups of guys, and they need to work on their marketing things to be a little separate. But there's also been another problem. If you run into a group called DYOR Swap, currently trading a lot on Blast, they have their own Dex. They've stolen all the IP from these guys, and they've stolen the DYOR projects, graphics, logos, and parts of their website. If you remember, now I have the D here for DYOR. I switched my logos a while ago to not be part of the DYOR project for the show, even though I'm very active in their Telegram. But that old blue DYOR logo is still in use by the DYOR project, which is still doing quite well. Go visit them. Chuck can tell you how to find them. But this group, DYOR Swap, is stealing everything, and it's just awful. They've started a Dex, half the project's rug. It's a mess. But if you run into them, report them. If you run into them, Twitter, DYOR Dex, DYOR Swap, not DYOR Dex or DYOR Exchange. DYOR Swap. Report them as impersonating DYOR project. It would help us all out. Drano says, I did a 47 roll before I crap out one time. Turn 100 into 2,800 bucks. 47 rolls. Let someone do the odds on that one. I'm sure there's a website for calculating that. Anyway, let's see. Coinbase. Let's see. It means built tougher. Yada yada yada. What about this? Oh, sometimes Twitter you can get quick information well. Other times you can't. With Bitcoin, bulls want to see some Coinbase premium starting to come back now and stay in the coming days. Coinbase 1 minute chart. I can't figure it out quickly. Crypto Mike says, I'm still rocking the military finance bandwagon. Dude, man. There's a ship that sailed, and that's it. Mr. B, where can I buy the DYOR token? Will it be listed on the Phoenix swap? I don't know if it will be or not. They were almost going to be listed on the old Novation swap that Matt was involved in. But everyone got cold feet once the owner started... The guy in charge started showing up on Texas Most Wanted's lists. Anyway, DYOR Live already has a swapper from Dev Matt, so we're already halfway there. We've had that now for 2 years. It's a good thing. So you can get a few more things. Crypto Mike says, I'm a stickler, I guess. Pitmonk says, what's happening with Coinbase? I don't know. They were running into capacity issues yesterday. Coinbase is ranked 500 in the App Store. Today it's ranked 49 and climbing. Yeah, this is a good stat. I don't know if you guys follow this one, but Crypto Banter tracks this on his show every day. It's a good idea, a good way to figure out if the retail crowd's getting into crypto again, because when they're getting into it is when you want to be doubling down on your investments in it, because they're going to be your exit liquidity. Coinbase is now at 49 on the App Store and climbing. If you can think about that, that's how fast Coinbase is adding new suckers. I was trying to think of a nice insult, but exit liquidity people. Yeah. Anyway, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get our sponsor up here. And type. All right, nope. All right, let's go to audit chain. All right, spend 2 minutes, if you can stick with me, to listen, earn a little bit of money here and talk about my sponsors here. For those of you who see this over my shoulder here, or underneath my shoulder, Audit Chain. Audit Chain has been the sponsor of the show for been in our second year now. Jason Myers at Audit Chain has created a product that is simply outstanding. Unfortunately, it's taken a long time to get to market, and it's just coming. It's just coming, like everything else, just coming to market. But it took a lot of programmers and developers and a lot of money to build what essentially is a system that can look through the corporate filings of all public companies in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Europe, every 60 jurisdictions of the world and 100 regulatory bodies. This software can go in and see if someone's filings have mistakes in them. I guess how many of the banks have mistakes in them? All of them. And we've done a bunch of them on the show. We did Silvergate, we did SVG, Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. And then we famously did Deutsche Bank like 2 days before the Bundesbank came in for a bailout of Deutsche Bank. And we're sitting like right here. Auditors didn't get it. And their project's getting ready to launch. And they do have a token associated with the project. And the reason is because it's gas. It's gas for their validator nodes, in which the Audit Chain isn't just software that you install on your computer. It uses validator nodes on the Matic network. And so the results are on the blockchain. So if a company files false or wrong information and you run their report, it's on the blockchain forever. It's designed 2 ways. One, to do that, but also they have another end of the software called Luca that will integrate into companies so that you can have real-time public financials for a company without them giving away any privacy. I haven't talked about that in the past a lot. I've talked about just catching Tesla and Silicon Valley Bank making errors. But what it can do is if a company installs the software inside their company and to sit with their accounting system, you will be able to, like if a crypto exchange did it, you will know every second if that exchange is liquid or not. And not just like proof of reserves is a misnomer. Proof of reserves could say, yes, on the books we have $10 billion in Bitcoin, and we have $10 billion of Bitcoin deposited. So we're good, right? And everyone's like, yep, 10 billion equals 10 billion, all good. Well, they could have a $10 billion lawsuit claim against them. Their liabilities, they could have lost $10 billion in FTX, and that's not reflected in that proof of reserve. They may have claims against it, which when companies have claims against their assets, they have to note in their books. If that was to happen, and they had Audit Chain installed, you would know what's called a proof of state. Every second of the day, you could know if that company was solvent or not. And when a company went to and had that software installed, if they tried to make an error, or if they made an error or made an error accidentally or tried to make one intentionally, software wouldn't let them because it wouldn't ever give them the green light to say everything's good. So it's an amazing product. It's getting ready to launch. They do have a token. It's traded on QuickSwap. And I'm not telling you to go buy it, but what I've learned is that when I talk about it, people go seek it out. It's very low liquidity. It's not an investment, all right? it's not an investment. And I'm not pitching it. I'm not telling you to buy it. What I'm telling you, it's there. People find it because I talk about it. And then they send me messages. Oh, it's really super low liquidity. And it's meant to be that way because it's gas fees. It's meant to be gas fees. But if you buy it and a lot of people use it, the price go up. Anyway, but that's Audit Chain, auditchain.finance. And they got caught up. I don't know. This is another project. I don't know how many of you in the real world know about VMware and Broadcom. Everyone knows Broadcom. Broadcom is the chip maker, and like all your cell phones have that Snapdragon stuff in it. Broadcom makes that. Crypto Mike says Canada. If you're talking about AutoChain, yeah, Canada too. Broadcom just purchased VMware. VMware, huge user base, customers of size of one person, one seat, one license, and then they had a their enterprise division, which it handles all sort. You can run great stuff, and you can run whole websites, whole everything. Everything just sits in a nice little VMware thing, kind of like a Docker station on Linux. Just boop, it just sits there. It runs great. And Broadcom came in and said, "No mas, done. We're done. We bought you. We're firing everybody. We're getting rid of 80% of the customers." With the old theory that 20% of your customers, you make 80% of your money. So get rid of the 80% of the customers and focus on those high margin big clients, which I'll not go into the sales techniques because people are idiots. But AutoChain, very extensive server network with all of their different programs that are running in all these jurisdictions or be able to check jurisdictions, very complicated stuff. And VMware just says, that's it, your license is done. No renewal. It's done. And when if you run VMware and virtual machines and you have SSLs and IP, everything's programmed with IP addresses, it's a disaster when people change it. And Broadcom, thanks for making everything a disaster for my sponsor. Anyway, if you go to find them and their website's not up, that's that. They're rebuilding it right now in a new virtual machine. Charles Jansen says, what's up, Crypto Mike? Yanni says, a mainnet Z, Generation 3 blockchain, let's effing go. The people's blockchain. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen, a super chat. Let's get the proper, let's see, I should have this ready to go, and I don't. Thank you very much. Yanni with the $20 super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Mrs. Striking is already looking across the room saying, hey, let's go to the store. I'm just joking. But as I always say, Pedro and I, thank you very much. We use all of the super chat money to better the channel, to add to the fund of paying for the expenses of it, because this channel currently is a expense, not a profit center. But soon, more people like you with better content from people like myself and another sponsor or two, we'll be good to go. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Yanni. I can't stress enough how much that means to Pedro and I. And frankly, it means a lot to the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm knows that when people are interacting and have long watch times with the show, and they're good enough to send a few bucks, that means something must be going right. And so thank you for pumping up my ego today. I really appreciate it. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. If it's anything else you want to talk about here today, let me know. The point of today's show is just to talk about the bitter coiner here. I forgot to hit on my sponsor, Patrick Camuso. If you're in the U.S., you got a crypto problem, crypto accounting problem. If you've got the note from the IRS, link down below to Camuso CPA. They can sort it out for you. They are actually specialists in crypto. And as Patrick says, half his cases are other accountants that say that they can handle crypto. A lot of them for the big four. And they don't get it right because they can't read a blockchain explorer. That's what Patrick does at Camuso CPA. Let's go back to BTC here. Well, let's do this one, this chart. This should be a good one. The Bitcoin versus ETH chart. That's a much different chart, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? This is a much different chart. This is the Bitcoin versus ETH chart. If you notice the difference, it looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart, 20 and 21 here, January 22 here, and then the long stinkathon for a while, and then the slow run up. And then it didn't, I don't know what the right word is, the difference between the two. ETH has been going up too. So the ETH versus Bitcoin chart has not been, the spread, that's what I was looking for. Some financial guy I am, can't remember the basic words. Crypto Mike is his birthday. Oh, we'll just give you one more "Oh Canada" for that.
Oh, cannot part.
Carmen Crypto in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Carmen Crypto, good morning. Chumbalones, thank you very much. Carmen coming in to us from Las Vegas. What's going on? Oh, Dara coming in. Dara, you've been watching, but quiet today. You must be busy working. Thanks everybody for joining us really today. Coming to the end of the show. If you got any topics, let us know. But big happy birthday to Crypto Mike in Winnipeg. Texas Wolf, thank you very much for joining us. Haven't seen you in a while. Crypto Mike says, thanks, guys. Look at this. Showing the love. Mike has a Telegram room in which he posts a number of cool stuff, a bunch of different categories in it. I don't think I can bring it up here. It's not on. I don't have my web screen share up, or I have web screen share, not application. But let me just go find it and read it. Where is it? Here it is. I don't know why I can't send a link to it. I was going to pop a link to it, but he has a Telegram room, which he showcases. He has a couple topic rooms, just the BS room, room to shill, whatever you want. Another topic area that has bots in it. You can run contract numbers through. And then he has one called the Art Spot, in which he does a lot of AI art. Him and AJ, who's you see here as Betty Baskins, drop a lot of art there that they come up with. It's pretty interesting. I tried to have a little fun there in it as well. Mike, I tell you to post a link to it, but I just can't find how to do it on a group that has links. Nope. I can't figure it out. Anyway, Mike, if you have a link to it and send it to me directly in Telegram, I'll post it in the chat here, because I don't think you can post links. Crypto Mike says, happy birthday, guys and girls. Drano, see you next time. My Netsy brothers, thanks chatting with you. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Drano. Really appreciate it. Crypto Mike says, I'll send a link for the next show. Well, the next show it is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, because that's all we got for you today. Wish my co-host Pedro good luck with the regular work stuff, which I got to go do after I close up here. And oh, let's see, where is that? But I had to change my ending because my license ran out for that. So I'll just put on the kick tracks here. We'll go out with a little vlogging music, as they call it. Never a rap. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me today. Thanks to Yanni for the super chat. I really appreciate it. You can't go wrong when you have fans that do things like that. Also can't go wrong when the green fans are funny. Yay, there it is. Okay, everyone. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. So glad that you're able to watch every episode of DYOR Live. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Betty Baskin says, good show today. Daryl says, ciao for now. Pitmonk says, thanks. Tom, really appreciate it. Have a great day. And of course, I appreciate all of you listening, contributing. The most valuable thing, as my friend Crypto Lifer says, your most valuable thing in your life is what? Is your time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the show